Welcome back. And here is Samson's take. Minister, I titled my take, Arrogance of Power, Shameful Policing. Minister Simon Osei-Mensah's arrogant, ignorant rants and empty threats of legal action against ECG staff in Kumasi and some media houses. Dear police in Kumasi, stop taking instructions that blight your competence, or rather expose your incompetence and unprofessional conduct. You do not owe any high-rank public officer blind loyalty. In fact, you are not worthy of that respectable uniform if you cannot keep up with the basic norm that you do not obey unlawful instructions, even if it is coming from the commander-in-chief, the president. We are all under law. You see how ECG staff are calling the Ashanti regional ministers bluff and winning the hearts of right-thinking citizens. Try emulating that. The president must be deprecating Simon Osei-Mensah's despicable conduct publicly and reprimanding him if he does not find it to be conduct that warrants his dismissal. We are in Dumso, and we know it is largely a money problem. What is the crime of staff of the ECG switching of power to a university that owes it 600,000 cedis? You are sending such a bad signal. Why should those owing the utility and perhaps contributing to our suffering in this Dumso deserve to enjoy power supply? This is the height of the display of arrogance of power that people are talking about. You can't seem to hear it. Stop the incoherent and lame references to the Securities and Intelligence Act to justify your lawless and disrespectful conduct to poor law-abiding workers. Hospitals, even Parliament, have been denied power over their indebtedness to the ECG. And these critical installations, like the KTU, were forced by this approach to quickly settle part of their bills. Sir, elsewhere, you will not have kept your job to be explaining that you ordered the arrest of the Ashanti East ECG General Manager, Engineer Michael Wiafe, because the university is a security zone by your designation. What a shame. It is baffling in the first place why the police would carry out your unlawful orders. The Constitution in Article 19 emphasizes that crime is a creature of statute. You cannot point Ghanaians to any law that creates any such thing, prohibiting and penalizing ECG staff for putting out the lights of a school you have decided to designate as a security installation. The minister insists he had a verbal agreement with ECG over the debt, and they breached that agreement by cutting power off to the university without recourse to him. Which police training institution teaches that breach of an agreement a contract by a party to that contract is a criminal offense. What incompetence! Who is this police officer? Who are the officers in charge of that police station? Should they continue to keep their job there? They are the kind that just listen to people in power and abuse the ordinary people. Police powers are essentially for the protection of the weak and vulnerable, and not to unlawfully intimidate or help the rich and powerful to abuse those who pay for the uniform and the gun. The only two items that separate you from them while you are on duty. When you are not on duty, you are just like us. You can decide to be wrong and strong, Mr. Minister, and not to apologize to them or withdraw that non-criminal case which they have demanded you withdraw. But sir, we go to court with a course of action. Ask your lawyer to explain it to you. The courts deal with serious business. There is no discernible course of action in that your empty threat to sue the officers and certain media houses. Engineer Wiafe and their association or union's leader, Asamoni, and your colleagues, you have done no criminal or civil wrong by handing Mr. Osei Mensah a bill he ignorantly calls fraudulent simply because he believes it should be about 1,000 and not 1,500 cedis, which is what he often pays. Who tells you that is what is called fraud? That is nothing close to what we call fraud in law. Engineer Wiafe, the minister says you were granted bail after the police took your statement. Sir, that statement is not worth the paper it is written on. Do not honor any bail condition, as it is a joke and an outright unconstitutional conduct. It cannot be carried out, and it does not carry any consequences if you treat it with the contempt it deserves. The Supreme Court, speaking through one of its best minds, Justice Francis Kwega, in the landmark case of Awuni versus Waec in 2004, cautioned that, quote, a nation that stands by and looks on while the rights of the individual are slowly pecked at, eventually pays the ultimate price of finding its own rights eroded. Our mindset should breed excellence, as Anna Nankoman has just told students at the maiden ceremony of the University of Ghana 2024 Annual Academic Prizes Awards. Stop the disrespect. Stop the abuse of power. And that is my take.